96.3 WHUR and HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141. This is the Insight segment. Your questions or comments toll free at 855-288-4876. Now, Insight.
Welcome back to the Daily Drum on WHUR and Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. This is the Insight segment. What are you doing to mind your business? This is National Black Business Month, and tonight we're talking about your brand. It is the face, the personality, your best foot forward for your business. But we're also talking tonight about supporting black businesses, why you should, and if you do. My guests are Bill Reed, syndicated columnist and CEO of the Black Business Exchange, and Sherron Washington, black business owner and author of Market Simple, the blueprint I wish I had before I started a business. We're talking about businesses tonight. If you want to comment, if you have a question, hey, here's a chance for some free advice. Yes, I did say free, so give us a call. 202-319-7810. That's 202-319-7810. Outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876. 855-288-4876. Bill, Sherron, thank you both for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I would like to say you were talking about cheap advice.
I said free.
Well, free advice. I've got some priceless advice.
Okay. What's the priceless advice?
As often as you can, put $1 in another black hand. During the month of August, it's 31 days, and we invite people, particularly black consumers, to take a look at how they can increase our economics and increase our overall power. And you can do that by becoming an educated consumer.
Let me ask you, how do you know that you're putting $1 in black hands? Because the world now, Bill, is so diverse. You could go to a car dealership and you may be talking to a black salesperson, but the dealership may not be owned by a black person. So do you support the black salesman or saleswoman, or do you go to a black dealership and support the white salesman?
Well, the thing that I'm advocating is very, very simple.
Okay.
Put $1 in another black hand. So if you're looking at him, you kind of know who it is.
Okay.
I understand your point about the technology that we're in the internet and how much purchases are made via the internet. But when you go, it's real simple. When you get your hair cut, put your $1 in another black hand and take it all the way to the end. When they bury you, make sure you put $1 in another black hand.
With the funeral company or the funeral director.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. I mean, would you agree with that, Sherron? You're a black business?
I am a black business.
Okay, I'm looking at you. You look brown to me.
Brown, very
You're a brown
brown
lady to me. So, talk to me about branding a black business. Is it different from just branding any business?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So, yes, it is a little different for minorities to brand their business because, there's a lot of obstacles. So there are a lot of obstacles first to being a small business, but definitely a minority business. So oftentimes I tell business owners, especially when I'm working with minorities, particularly women too, is that you want to start off right. So you don't want to go into building your brand by cheapening your services, going to get cheaper logos, cheaper looks, cheaper imaging. You want to come out with your best foot forward because you already have obstacle in front of you. So it's best to come out at your best foot forward, especially when you're branding as a minority, so people can take you seriously. There are stereotypes in and outside of the Black community about the Black community, about Black businesses. We aren't on time. We don't do good jobs, and that's not true. I mean, I've been running my company for 9 years, and I put out good work. I work with obviously more than minorities, but more so than not, I'm working with minorities to make sure that they're definitely professional and on time, so we can kind of block that stereotype.
202-319-7810, 202-319-7810, outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. Do you support Black businesses? Why or why not? I'd like to hear from you. Okay, Bill, where do those stereotypes come from? You say put that dollar or your business into a Black hand. Where do those stereotypes come from?
Well, the stereotype is that Black people don't support each other. Mm-hmm. Is that true or is that not true? I'll tell you this: Black people have a $1.1 trillion buying power every year. Yet, Black business operators only get less than 2% of that gigantic buying power. If we were to increase that to just 10% of what we spend in the marketplace, we would create, now watch this, we would create 1 million jobs in our own community. Mm-hmm. That is the type of economic impact we could make if we made educated consumer choices and purchases.
Okay, 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810, outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. Kim, calling from Laurel. What's on your mind, Kim?
Hi, Harold. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
I have Sherron Washington's book. It's excellent. I got it the day it came out. And as an event planner, I have used a lot of the principles she's outlined in the book. But one question I have is, what if you have a business and your brand kind of covers more than just one thing? You know, if you are doing not only planning, but maybe you do travel, maybe you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Kim, I would always say to start with one thing at a time, because you can't be all things to everyone. And branding is just that. It's kind of making your staple or your footprint in the cement. So I would say start with branding what you do best first, and then move to the other things that is kind of a branch, an olive branch to the core of what you do.
Okay. There you go, Kim.
Great.
Thank you so much. Chanel, calling from Laurel. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Good evening.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you guys for taking my call. As a young entrepreneur myself and as a Black woman, I try my best at all times to be able to support a Black business, whether it's just see me out and I want to go dining, whether I'm traveling, I want to find Black-owned hotels, these companies that a management company that's Black-owned that owns several hotels. I don't like to hear Black people say all of these negative stereotypes about Black businesses. There were plenty of times when I walked into an Asian nail salon and they were just rude, but we don't have any issues putting our money into the hands of these people. We go into these tryouts where they're serving us trash in our communities, and we give up our money every day if we can. But I think it's deeply ingrained in us to not think highly of ourselves to support our own businesses. So I think what we do is we find any excuse not to support Black-owned businesses. I support, like I said, as much as I can. And I really don't have an issue with Black-owned businesses. I mean, just like any other business, every business always has room for improvement and development. But I think the negative stereotypes really come from sort of a sense of self-hate from within.
Well, Chanel, thank you so much. A profound point, and I think a good point to end this segment on as we go to a break. We're talking about branding, and we're also talking about supporting Black businesses. Do you Do you not? Why? Why not? We'll talk about it. 202-319-7810, 855-288-4887. Welcome back to the Daily Drum on WHUR and Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. This is National Black Business Month, and we're talking about branding your business, avoiding mistakes, as well as supporting black businesses. My guests are Bill Reed. He's a syndicated columnist and CEO of the Black Business Exchange. Also with me, Sherron Washington, black business owner and author of Market Simple, the blueprint I wish I had before I started a business. Lines are open at 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810 outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. I have a question for you, Bill, but let me grab one more call real quick. Kyle calling from Forestville. Kyle, what's on your mind? Quickly, please.
How you doing? Real quickly, first of all, I do support black businesses as much as I possibly can. There's not that many around me. But I got to say that when black businesses set up, they need to really be careful who they put in place on a customer service level, because a lot of times black businesses tend to treat other races better than their own race, because I think they just assume that they don't have to give the level of customer service to black people as they do to other races. And I think that that's why a lot of times they don't get as much business as they could get, because they just don't really extend the same level of customer service. And, you know, I got to tell you, I hate to say it, but a lot of prominent black people prefer to go outside of their race because of that specific reason alone.
Okay. Bill, what do you think about that? Is he right? Do you think?
Well, he's right, but I hope Kyle is still on the phone.
He's listening, but go right ahead.
I'd like to just ask him.
He's off the call, but go ahead and share your point.
He's off the call, but it's a very simple point that I want to make. Where do you bank? Let's start it off with banking black. I'll give you a statistic that's very interesting. There are less Asians here in America than there are black people. I think basically it's something like 7 million Asians, but there are 13 million blacks. But they have more banks that they support than we do. Why is that?
An interesting rhetorical question. Hold that point, because I want to drill down on that a little more. Lines are still open. I promise I will take your call even after 7:30 when we make the switch over to Sirius XM. So please stay with us. Brendan, Angela, Stephanie, we will take your call at 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810 outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. Stay with us. The Daily Drum will continue on Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. Jeff Brown is next with the original Quiet Storm on 96.3 WHUR. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
The Howard University Radio Network is WHUR 96.3 FM, WHUR World 96.3 HD2, student-run WHBC HD3, GlassHouseRadio.com, SiriusXM Channel 142, HBCU, and SiriusXM Channel 141, HUR Voices, Washington.
Welcome back to the Daily Drum on Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. This is National Black Business Month, and we continue our discussion about branding your business, avoiding mistakes, as well as supporting black businesses. Do you support them? Do you not support them? Why? Why not? My guests are Bill Reed, syndicated columnist and CEO of the Black Business Exchange, and Sherron Washington, black business owner and author of Market Simple, the blueprint I wish I had before I started a business. Before I go back to the phones, I want you to finish your point, Bill, about you were answering a question you asked the gentleman rhetorically, where do you bank? And I think this comes back to the piece that I was asking earlier. You want people to be educated consumers. If you have one black business on one side of the street that does good work, and a white business or another business that is not a black business on the other side of the street that does the same kind of work but is cheaper? How do you make that decision?
Well, that's a marketplace decision, and it's on a one-to-one basis. But if I could talk about it I think the word is gestalt in the whole frame of things. Mm-hmm. It's really the whole nation, the whole country, the whole world. It's about economics, how you participate in the world of economics. Black people have not practiced capitalism to the level that they can actually sustain ourselves, that we can sustain ourselves and make ourselves grow. For example, I mentioned black banking, but better than that, $1 we get paid a lot of money, but $1 goes into the black community. He stays in the black community less than 1 day.
Okay.
Less than one. Actually, it's about 6 hours. But by the same token, $1 goes into the Jewish community, and it stays in the Jewish community 17 days. That means it goes from one hand to another hand to another hand. All the same kind of people. So when I say every time you can put $1 in black hand, it's a basic thing that we should think about and a basic practice that we should operate under. And now during the month of August, 31 days of August, if you can, every day, make sure you put $1 in another black hand. Mm-hmm. That would be a good start for us for the whole year. And it would be a good pattern for you to show your children, for your family, for your children to actually see us accelerating the use of $1 within our communities.
The generational wealth, generational economics.
Exactly. Yeah. And it will, and you use the key word here, economics. It will increase our economics and increase our lives and our lifestyles.
Let me go to Brennan calling from Northwest Washington. Go right ahead.
Well, good evening, Harold, and good evening to your panel as well.
Hey, go right ahead. What's on your mind?
All right. I just wanted to co-sign on what Ms. Washington had stated earlier about not cutting corners when releasing or starting your business. I have my own business. I market a line of hot sauces I developed called Uncle Brothers Hot Sauce. They're made locally here in D.C., and I pride myself on producing a high-quality product. Now, I also wanted to address the flip side of the somewhat of a challenge that I face in marketing this type of product, being that it's a hot sauce, it's a condiment product, and I'm trying to take the high quality, the high road, so to speak, with putting out a high quality product, but it also results in it being priced a little more than what most people are used to seeing a hot sauce being priced.
Let me stop you there and see if Sherron can at least address that, because you ask a really, really great question, and I think you're right. It is a bit of a dilemma. If you have a high quality product, but to develop a high-quality product, you've got to put some money in. How do you brand that? How do you market that? Do you have to do the Tyler Perry thing where you got to give it away the first time in order to sell it the second time?
Well, I think definitely with branding a high product, and again, my marketing business is at a different price point than some small businesses can afford. But you have to believe in your product, Brennan. You believe in the value of it. You want people to pay for the value of it. And to be quite honest with you, that if you were white, then other people would purchase it for what you sell it for. So you have to be your own advocate in definitely marketing the value of your hot sauce, no matter how much it costs.
Walk around with your tongue hanging out and say, "Why's your tongue hanging out?" It's my hot sauce. Go right ahead.
I just wanted to make a point about marketing. There's a company out of Columbus, Ohio called Glory Foods.
Yeah, that's right. Glory Greens and the whole bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were able. Yours is a niche market, but they were able to capitalize on that niche market. So what you've got to do, of course, I know you already know, but you've got to find the Safeways, the Harris Teeters, and the Grand Unions across the country so that you can sell your product in volume.
Okay. Well, there you go, Brennan. Thank you so much for your phone call. Angela, calling from Southwest Washington. What's on your mind?
Hello, Harold, and hello to your panel.
Hey.
I want to wish Professor Washington congratulations on her book. I'm one of her students, and she's a phenomenal professor. And I wanted to find out from you, Professor Washington, how do you go about branding yourself? I have been working as a legal secretary for a very long time, taking classes now. I want to move into the human resource management field. But I'm getting resistance even now because everyone still sees me as just a legal secretary.
Okay, so hi, Angela. Personal branding is no different than professional branding. So definitely you want to portray an image that you want to convey to the public. So it's going to be difficult. You're going to have challenges and stumbles, but again, you have to have the tenacity to build the professional brand that you want people to see, you know, dress a certain way. You definitely have to be involved in things that you want to do. So if you want to take yourself out of that administrative kind of role, then definitely volunteer your services initially for those other things that you want to do. And the fact that you're going to school and kind of getting the opportunity to be educated and getting resources and how you can brand yourself is amazing. So kudos to you.
Okay. Well, there you go, Angela. Thank you so much. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810 outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. Of course, we are talking about branding and black businesses. Do you support black businesses? Why or why not? And if you are talking about branding, and if you're wondering how to brand, or if you're starting to get into your own business and are wondering about what mistakes you may be making, and you have any questions, certainly give us a call. Eric, calling from Northeast D.C. What's on your mind?
Yes, how you doing, sir?
Sure, go right ahead. I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My thing about the black businesses. I was a black business owner 9 months ago. Had a store for 8 years, and I know it's just our own kind, man. It's more like they never beat me down about my prices. Every time they walk in the store, it's this bootleg, it's that bootleg. And I would guys come to my store and ask me for dollars. I give them dollars. They come out and tell me they want to support me. As I said, I'm front sometimes. I see them today. They got a new kitchen. Where you get those from? Oh, my girlfriend from Iverson. I mean, it's like no loyalty. Like, I mean, not speaking on race or anything, but it's more like we don't keep our money in our own community like a lot of other folks do. But if we was to do that, we would have so much more to offer each other and things of that nature. And I just lost my soul because my landlord came aboard the shopping center and never renewed my lease. So when it was ready time to renew my lease, he tried to go up on my rent like 5 times more than what I was paying. Mm-hmm. And now there's no black owners in that shopping center. It's all foreigners.
Yeah. Which kind of, you make an interesting point because it goes back to what Bill was saying before, where you may, before you lost your shop, you may have been leasing from, an individual, but then you may have had, a different minority group come by, and they have combined their resources and their financial resources, and they may also have that the cultural bond, and they are using those resources to build that economic foundation. Am I right there, Bill?
I know that we have problems, and I know that everything is not utopia in the marketplace, but we've just got to become much more fluid in our interactions with each other and our ability to buy from each other. And you got to look at some simple economics. Everybody in the economy passes us, and we continue to stay in place. Although our incomes have increased, our overall impact in the economic marketplace have not increased because we don't buy from each other and we don't circulate a dollar within our community. Exactly. It's important that we do that.
Okay, well, Eric, good luck to you. Certainly keep your head up, and I'm sure as an entrepreneur and an idea man, you never really run out. You may be down.
No, I
so
don't run out. I got some other things up my sleeve.
There you go.
Go out and do it again.
Go out and do it again. Without a doubt, Eric, thank you so much for giving us a call. 202-319-7810. That's 202-319-7810. Outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. Sherron, I want to talk a bit about the title of your book. It says, The Blueprint I Wish I Had Before I Started a Business. Why did you use that subtitle? What happened that made you write that?
Oh, lots happened. So as a minority business, as a woman-owned business, I didn't have direction. And so because I didn't have direction, things were falling apart. I couldn't get my business right. I couldn't market to the right people. So I created this book, or I was a marketer, and I created this idea that what if I could create a process by which is so easy, that direction, a blueprint, a path to my own success. And hence the title just kind of laid in my lap.
So what was the blueprint? Give me something here. Okay. What is it that that goes on that paper that says, this is what I need to do? What were the mistakes?
Perfect. There are 6 steps that business owners should do, especially when they're branding and marketing. The first is to have a goal. You need to definitely have direction. That's the first thing you should figure out is, what are your expectations from this? The next would be then, who am I going to sell this product to? Who am I going to market to? So you have to develop a target. After that, you got to create a strategy. That's third. So the theme of it, what will it look like? What tactics will I use? Will I use social media? Will I use traditional media? The fourth thing is to actually implement it. You have to actually put some work to figure out your goal. Fifth would be budget. You figure out how much money you got to do all of this. And 6 is the very important step, and that's to evaluate how well you did.
Okay. Going to take a break. When we come back, more of your phone calls. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. Outside of the D.C. calling area, 855-288-4876, 855-288-4876. We'll be back in just a moment. XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. We continue our discussion about Black Business Month, National Black Business Month, as we talk about branding your black business and avoiding mistakes and supporting black businesses during the 31 months of August. My guest, Bill Reed, is hoping that you will, every day that you spend $1 during the month of August, you put it in the hands of a black business, and hopefully that money will continue to turn around in the black community. And of course, we have here Sherron Washington, black business owner and author of Market Simple, the blueprint I wish I had before I started a business. Let's go back to the phone line. Vince calling from Laurel. Vince, thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Yes, how you doing?
Doing just fine, thanks.
Okay, I'm retired military. Mm-hmm. I've been around the country and been around the world, and I actually go out my way to support black businesses. But lots of times it's frustrating because you want to support them, but you get substandard treatment. For an example, a haircut, the barber answers his phone, and it's like, oh boy, not again. So you try to find a nice barber somewhere within your vicinity, but you go out of your way to find one.
Go ahead, Vince.
And the same thing happens, you know, whether I'm in L.A., Atlanta, or New York, or Baltimore.
Okay. You were going to make a comment, Bill.
Who else can you find that can do a fade other than a black barber?
I can answer that question, but I prefer a black barber. But there's a couple of Asians that's at the military bases that does that.
Is that right?
Oh yes.
Well, I got to give credit where credit's due.
But you know what? Here's the thing, and to our credit, Vince, one of the things that I think I've noticed, I think that a lot of businesses, particularly young black entrepreneurs, are beginning, and Sherron, please, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, are starting to get the point about customer service. And I think, and certainly, Bill, you can comment on this as well. Historically, because of the struggles of African Americans in this country, many of us were raised to make do. Okay, and so as a result, our businesses at times are the same way. And yet I personally have found, when having worked in mainstream media, when I've worked with people that were not all of them looked like me, and when they talked about things, they said, I must have the best, I must have the best, I must have the best. I used to think it was ego. And I realized that no, because they were not raised in, dare I say, the struggle, that they were not raised like me. and so as a result, I think that now younger entrepreneurs are beginning to get the point that Vince is making, that no, we are going to make sure that our windows are clean, that there's not going to be, foul language, that our music is going to be palatable for the entire family, even if it's R&B. And I think that we're going to make sure that we're going to have, fresh fruit and or wine or the likes. We're going to have everything as perfect as possible. And yes, you're going to pay for it, and we're going to have smiles, and we're going to have everything else. And I think that's growing. I think that we just have to have more of that. And I think that people like Vince have to just be in positions where they can find it. What do you say, Vince? Vince, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes,
what do you say?
I agree with you, Harold. I found a few black businesses that the customer service was over the top, especially one in Tennessee, a bread and breakfast type of business was over the top. But a lot of the other businesses lacking that. And it's frustrating. You want to do business with them. You want to give them your money, but you get the same thing over and over again. It's really frustrating.
The power of positive thinking. Every time, as often as you can, put $1 in another black hand. Search out, look for ways to buy from another black person. Overall, it helps the economy. It helps you and I. It helps us grow, and it helps us have jobs, and it'll be generational. You'll help your children.
I also want to add to that is don't let your last experience be your defining experience when it comes to dealing with black businesses. Remember, we're individuals, and so it happens on an individual basis. So I'm with Bill, and I'm going to do it myself for the 31 days. And beyond 31 days, I still help minorities. But I definitely will be putting $1 in a black business hand. So, Vince, don't let that last experience be that defining experience.
It was the last 20 experience. It wasn't the last one, the last 20.
Or even the last 20.
Yeah. You've got to move forward. We've got to move forward. Don't let your the last 20. Well, maybe hopefully the next 20 will be to your advantage and to 20 other people's advantage, 20 other people of same color.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you, Vince, and certainly thank you so much for your phone call. And as I said this, off air, and I was kind of joking, with Bill. My issue with the 31 days is I'm not spending any money. I'm not doing, but I finally found a couple of quarters, as Mom always says, to get some granite countertops in my old home, and I found a black business with good recommendations. I had a chance to talk to the owner, the staff, from the person who picked up the phone, all the way to the salesman, all the way to the owner that I spoke to on the phone. I negotiated just like I would with anyone else, and we had a great, comfortable conversation. Okay, and we came to a price that we both could agree on, and I didn't say absolutely not, right away. And so I think that, like we said before, I could have gone perhaps to someone else, but I think that there has to be, I think, some give and take where you want to support a black business, and I don't know how the work is going to go. We will see.
The economics of what you do affect you, they affect your neighborhood, affect your city and your country. So make sure that you do the right thing with your money. Black dollars matter.
Okay. Let me ask Sherron, what's the biggest mistake that you believe you've made in business? That low point in business for you, Sherron?
The low point in business for me.
The one that said, "Oh gosh, let me just go get a good old government job and just stop doing this altogether."
Letting the belief, letting that we all go through hills, valleys, and mountains. So letting the struggle get to me. So it has been times, especially when I started in business in the beginning, is that I lacked the confidence that, I can build this business and this can work. And to be quite frankly, it was definitely kind of trying to mimic my businesses after non-minority businesses so that I can, in fact, build who I am. But I figured out later on that I have to be authentically me, because I'm not going to change.
And what does that mean?
Being brown, being a woman, having respect for other businesses, trusting in black dollars. I have to be that. I shied away from that when I first started because the stereotype is black businesses don't do well. So you have to mimic after other non-minority businesses so that you can do well. So no, I've taken the approach that I'm black, I'm authentic in what I do, I'm here to help everyone, but I definitely embrace.
And was there a high point because I know you're still going, you're still kind of doing, but what was the point where you said, I got this. I'm on my way.
Just recently. So, yes, in March when I finished the book and I displayed the book, I just realized that this is it. This is me. This is what I'm representing, and I'm going to keep going. So I put out this book March 2015, and right after I completed the book, I definitely feel the confidence of I can do anything.
When you look at the modern entrepreneurs, Bill, when you talk about, of course, we had the Black Wall Streets and the A.G. Gassens and the Johnson Publishing. Now who comes to mind? I mean, don't say Oprah because everybody says Oprah, but who's the person that comes to mind that maybe that's not a household name?
Well, it should be a household name, but Bob Johnson. Mm-hmm. Bob Johnson made two. Well, he was the first black male billionaire. But now he did that with BET. But did you know that Bob Johnson is the largest black car dealer in the country?
And that I didn't know. Yeah.
He owns at least, I think it's almost 30 dealerships. They're not under the Bob Johnson name. They're just he's bought them and gone on his business. But that is Bob Johnson is a leading entrepreneur here in Washington. Hate to say it, well, not hate to say it, but Jeffrey Thompson was. He
was, and unfortunately he's had some legal issues, but certainly there are others, and there will be more. And sometimes they aren't the high profile people. Sometimes they are the quiet people, particularly people who are into investment banking, hedge funds, and the like. I think that's the thing that people really need to begin to pay attention to. Unfortunately, I am certainly out of time, but I want to thank both of you for coming in and sharing your thoughts and your experiences. Bill Reed, Sherron Washington, thank you both. I'll make sure that your information will be on WHUR.com for those who are interested in finding out more about you, contacting you, and the like. So again, thank you both so much.
Thanks
I appreciate
for having
it.
me here.
It's been a blast.
That is the Daily Drum on Sirius XM, Channel 141 for this Tuesday, August 11th. I'm Harold Fisher. You can reach me at hfisher@WHUR.com, on Facebook at Harold T. Fisher, or Twitter at HFisherWHUR. Now, stay tuned for The Connection with Lorna Newton. Good night.
The Howard University Radio Network is WHUR 96.3 FM, WHUR World 96.3 HD2, student-run WHBC HD3.